The first time I laid my eyes on a computer that featured more than one video card was in the year 2000. It had two 3DFX Voodoo cards in it, and no, I don't remember which ones, but ever since I was fascinated with the idea. And when Nvidia released the 6800 series back in 2004 on the PCI Express interface, I was hardwired to put more than one video card in my PC. Enter the SLI Monster2, my ultimate vision of a G80 based water-cooled PC. You might immediately ask why there is no third card in the system, and the answer is simple. I just wasn't able to find a third block made by Watercool for the 8800 GTX after searching for a span of more than 2 years. These legendary cards are sporting 768 megabytes of GDDR3 memory connected via a 384-bit wide bus. Also, they are not the Ultra variant of the card, since these are exceedingly hard to find in Germany these days, but the ability to overclock due to better cooling will make up for that. The heart of this build is Intel's Q9650 overclocked to 3.75 GHz from a 3 GHz base clock. And it's sitting in EVGA's own 790i SLI for the win motherboard. I have chosen this motherboard because of its great overclocking potential, even though I won't go crazy with the speed since there is really no need to do that and burn down my house in the process. As in all my builds, I like to use cooling parts made by German manufacturer Innovatec, since I've stuck with them ever since the first time dipping my feet into water cooling. The system memory is Corsair's Dominator GT 2x4GB kit and is probably the most unnecessary and overkill component since it's only running at 1666 MHz right now, although it can go up to 1.7 volts exceeding more than 2000 MHz, and the cooling fan that comes with this kit is truly reminiscent of the time of its release. Since I am a huge fan of Chieftec cases, the only real choice for me to go with a Bravo series type case in silver, into which the previous owner has modded a huge side window. Because of the lack of airflow around the CPU socket, I have added a small 60mm fan to the side of the water block to help with cooling the VRMs and other components around the socket. The operating system decision fell on Windows Vista, since I have always liked it and I have fond memories of it. And yes, I am aware of the fact that I'm pretty much alone with this opinion about Windows Longhorn, as it was called in its development stages. And of course it's perfect for the two 8800 GTX cards because they were the first cards to support DirectX 10 and Vista supports it naturally. I have chosen to put the radiator outside of the case to remove as much heat from inside the case as possible. And by doing it this way, I didn't have to face the decision where to put the radiator in a case that was never meant to carry one in the first place. The 360 Innovatec radiator is crowned by 3 Noctua NFP12 PWN fans and is connected to a fan hub controller. Pretty much the only modern part in this build is the Thermaltake Smart DPS G750 watts power supply for obvious reasons. And here are some benchmark results for you. The first DirectX 10 benchmark made by 3D Mark is called Vantage. And here the system manages to get 10,499 points on the power preset at standard clocks. After overclocking the system to 3.7 GHz on the CPU and pushing the GPUs to 650 MHz on the GPU and 1050 MHz on the memory, which is by the way above the 8800 Ultra's clocks, the system manages to hit 11,936 points, resulting in a 13% gain in performance. After researching the release price tags for all the major components, I came to the conclusion that you would have to spend around $4,200 on the system back in the day if you had bought all the parts new. Of course, I'm aware that not all of them came out in the same year. I want to remind you of the fact that the 8800 GTX was truly a breakthrough in terms of video card performance and technology, and can be considered the granddad of all of our modern video cards. In the past, we've said that a 3D chip has a certain amount of pixel pipelines and a certain amount of pipes for shader calculations. But because the 8800 is very different and is working with DirectX 10, it's able to employ something that is called a unified architecture. In other words, no pipes are geared towards a particular task. Instead, the GeForce 8800 comes with 128 stream processors, which can dynamically process whatever you throw in their way. That was a real breakthrough in terms of GPU performance. I really hope you liked that video. This is the first one I've used a script in it. So I began by writing the text first, then shooting the videos, and then putting all of it together. I again hope to be able to increase the quality of my videos by doing it that way. And I really hope you liked it. See you in the next one.